Why is Nepal objecting to the trade resumption between India and China? What is Treaty of Sugauli and why it is a flashpoint between India and Nepal as of now? Do you know about these two passes, Limpiyadhura and Lipulekh? Both of these are a flashpoint of diplomatic dispute, a big one between India and Nepal. Hello everyone, welcome to Vajiram and Ravi's Flash News. My name is Shubhangi Singh and today we are going to understand the disputed claim on the region of Kalapani when we are talking from Limpiyadhura Pass to Lipulekh Pass, where India has resumed its trade with China via this trade route and Nepal has objected, citing its own sovereignty, where India has gone ahead and said that Nepal is unquoting wrong historical reasons and that is why this dispute has flared up. Now let us understand this in detail. So when we talk about this particular region, this is a tri-junction between three countries, India, China and Nepal, and that is why this area remains in the focal point itself, because this is the region which is not just important for trade, it is also important for as a pilgrimage route, especially to Mansarovar Yatra, especially for Kailash Yatra. It is also important in terms of sovereignty, where Nepal claims this region as their own and India asserts its own sovereignty in the very same region. And this all difference that we are talking about comes from different interpretations, especially in the Treaty of Sugauli 1816. So this treaty is the main contention point. We'll understand this in detail. But when we talk about this particular region, just now the trigger point for this flare up of this region has been the fact that India and China, they are trying to de-escalate the situation amidst the US chaos that has been created, and their trade has resumed through the Lipulekh Pass. And this has resulted in objection from Nepal, which are asserting their sovereignty in the Kalapani region from the Limpiyadhura Pass to Lipulekh Pass. Now, this has been objected from India and this is of very much importance given it is a strategic trade route, it is a pilgrimage route and it will play an important role when we are talking about regional geopolitics as well. So, when we talk about this region, you can understand this region when I am talking about Treaty of Sugauli. Treaty of Sugauli of 1816 clearly defined that Kali river will be the border between India and Nepal. So, if you see Kali river, right now, but the problem here is when we are talking about the origin point of Kali river, Nepal believes that the origin point is here and that is why it claims all of this region in its own part, whereas India believes that the origin point of Kali river is in the Kalapani region, it starts over here and that is why all of this region belongs to Uttarakhand state. And that is why the difference in the interpretation of Treaty of Sugauli of 1816 is the main reason of contention that we see here. As I said, Nepal has the very simple claim that the Kali river originates at Limpiyadhura here. That means Lipulekh, Kalapani and Limpiyadhura all are part of Nepal. And in 2020, Nepal went ahead, updated their map, included all of these regions in their map and also made constitutional changes directly basically standing off against India and coming into direct dispute. Whereas when we talk about India's end, I have told you that the region that they mark as the initial point of Kali river is the Kalapani village. That means all these territories come in Uttarakhand and it clearly marks that there has been long-standing administrative control and trade activity that has been seen since 1954 in this very region. That is why this particular claim is made from India and both of these claims stands in contradiction to each other. This region has been used by India for trade activity for the longest time and it marks a clear administrative control in the region itself. So, India has also asked Nepal to back off and quote right historical reasons when they want to exert their sovereignty, not the wrong historical reasons. Now let us move ahead and understand the strategic as well as diplomatic dimensions associated with it. When we talk about the strategic importance, I have already mentioned that this particular region, when we are talking about especially Lipulekh Pass, it becomes of immense importance not just as a trade route but also as a pilgrimage route for Kailash Mansarovar Yatra. It also has defense and connectivity significance, especially for India and China, and this has been highlighted since 1962 war. Other than that, India and China engagement de-escalation is taking place, and post the Galwan Valley conflict and a lot of escalation that we have seen in past few years, there is resumption of trade via Lipulekh. That means that the ties are getting back to normal. So this route remains important to maintain the diplomatic ties and the trade ties with China as well. Other than that, Nepal's response here is somewhere unilateral in nature. India has always been open to dialogue and discussion. In this scenario, this strong diplomatic objection as well as the constitutional changes, changing of map, they reaffirm the claims to both India and China. Furthermore, this region will always be diplomatically sensitive because even though there are ongoing talks, this issue remains unresolved. Nobody is ready to back off, and this situation remains very delicate. But what can be done in coming times? What can be the way ahead? So when we are talking about way ahead, India's posture has been clear that we are not going to support any unilateral enlargement of territorial claims. If you want to talk on the table, come on the table and talk. That could be done, but Nepal is also working on similar lines, that they are talking about dialogue and diplomacy. Probably in coming times, when Nepal's PM is going to visit India, this could be one of the key agenda points, and in coming time the resolution can come in multiple forms, be it in form of balanced diplomacy or further accelerated tensions on another border for India. What do you think can be resolution for this particular situation? Put it down in the comment section. That was all from my side. Thank you so much.